only see like 6 seniors on their roster.
Yeah.
So they're a young team.
Oh. Good evening, Bulldog fans, and welcome to Harrington Jeffrey Sports Complex. It's a BDC matchup here in Week 7 as the 6-0 Carmi White County Bulldogs welcome in the 2-4 Eldorado Eagles. Cole Carter alongside Chris Myers, Asher Penrod, and Scott Mahering are back at the studio. Haley Winkleman, J.C. Tinsley here in the press box with us for those of you watching on the WRUL Sports YouTube channel. And Chris, if you're Carmi, you've already clinched a playoff berth. Did that last week with a big win against Edwards County. If you're Eldorado, you lost a heartbreaker last week against Cesar Valier, and now in order for them to get to the playoffs, they've got to win out. This is a must-win game for Eldorado.
And fully expect, this Eldorado football team coming in here tonight, even though a record of 2-4, they've got everything to fight for.
Yep.
They're fighting, like you said, Cole, for their very playoff lives. And they would love nothing more, as Fairfield did a couple weeks ago, to come in here and play spoiler. Eldorado was another local rival, a lot of history between Carmi and Eldorado over the years. It's a physical football team. Eldorado is always physical and bruising up front, and they have a very good athlete at quarterback in Parker Price, who has rushed for 555 yards this year and has thrown for 420. So this is a team, by all means, that the Bulldogs cannot look at the record and sleep on, because this is another very dangerous football team coming in here tonight.
It's a different Eldorado squad than what we saw back in the early 2010s. They had some really good teams. They had a 9-0 year back in 2015. That was a lot of T formation. They ran the ball. But now with Price, who's probably one of the top 3 best athletes in the conference, they spread things out. They'll put him in the shotgun and use him. I kind of compared him to like a Lamar Jackson type way. He'll run the ball and he'll throw the ball, as you mentioned, but that's always going to be tough. Carmi has always struggled to
Everything about Rice is nice.
It's no accident that more and more people trust Hale Body Shop when they need collision repair.
David and the gang at Hale Body Shop work hard to get your car back to you as soon as possible.
They understand how busy you are.
They also understand that sometimes life happens.
And if you find yourself in an accident,
remember, when it does, there's only one place to go.
Hale Body Shop in Carmi, way out there on Possum Road.
Life can be complicated, but managing your money should be simple. Whether you need to check your balances, deposit a check, pay bills, pay a friend, or transfer money to retirement savings, First Mid Online and Mobile Banking keep your finances simple every step along the way. With First Mid Bank and Trust, you can manage your money anytime right from your smartphone. You can even sign up for real-time alerts to stay on top of your account activity. Learn more about these conveniences at firstmid.com. First Mid Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
First responder.
Share your talents and grow your caregiving career without sacrificing life. Now hiring RNs, LPNs, and CNAs at Wabash Christian Village. Our professionals enjoy flexible schedules, competitive wages, a paycheck, advanced program, continuing education, leadership opportunities, and so much more. You can make a difference with a healthcare career, and there's never been a better time to make a change. Apply today at wbcbcareers.org.
Personal one-to-one service. That's a promise we make to all of our clients. This is Ashley Ingram with Butch & Associates CPAs in Carmi. Our firm was built on the idea of treating all of our clients like they are the only client we have. For bookkeeping, payroll, financial planning, and of course, income tax preparation, turn to a firm that is large enough to trust and small enough to care. Butch & Associates CPAs in Carmi. Call us at 382-4151 or visit us at butch.com. That's BOTSCH.com.
So the Bulldogs run onto the field tonight. They are looking a little bit different for this contest. They are wearing their National Guard camouflage jerseys for Military and First Responder Appreciation Night. A very special night and an awesome thing the Bulldogs are doing tonight. All veterans, military, first responders all get into the game for free tonight. Just a great appreciation there for the Bulldogs.
And it goes without saying, we just can't say thank you enough to all first responders, police, firefighters, EMS, doctors, nurses, dispatchers, you name it, to all our veterans, our active military, our veterans, our reserves, and those who paid the ultimate price. We just say thank you so much for everything you've done and everything you continue to do.
Absolutely. So they are introducing the Eldorado starters. And again, the pregame show is in focus thanks to Taylor Eye Care, providing excellence in eye care on Falcon Avenue in Carmi. Visit TaylorEyeCare.com for more information. We'll go ahead and introduce the Carmi starting offense. Been the same starting 11 they've had all season long. At left tackle, number 70 is a 5'10 senior Chase Pringle. Left guard, a 6-foot junior, number 50, Gavin Payton. The center is Nelson Ryder. He's a 6'2 junior. Bryson Moore is the right guard, number 79. He's a 6'2 senior. Austin Owen is your right tackle. He is a 5'11 junior. Your tight ends, Tyler Gomat. He is a 6'2 senior wearing number 12. And Nate Brown is at the tight end, number 34. He is a 6'1 senior. Your backfield, Isaac King. He is going to be wearing number 7 tonight with these new jerseys. So King's one of your running backs. You also got Andrew Dotson, number 11. He's a 6-foot junior. And back to full health playing tonight is Draxon Odd, a 5'9 senior. Draxon, of course, did not play last week, injured his ankle at the end of that Fairfield game, but he's back to full strength tonight. And your quarterback, Warren Legg, he's a 5'11 senior wearing number 10. So obviously, Chris, as we reach the final few weeks of the regular season, it's big to have Draxon Odd back in the lineup.
Great to see him back. You know, that was the question. How healthy was he? How badly injured was that ankle? And wisely, they set out last week against the game at Edwards County. According to all reports, he's about back to full strength, minimum 95%. So definitely need him in the lineup tonight, not only for what he brings offensively, but defensively. Yep. He is our leader on that defense at his linebacker position.
Well, last week, the first-team offense for Carmi was pretty much on the sideline about halfway through the second quarter. I think it's safe to say that probably is going to happen again in the rest of the season.
No.
We said it last week. The playoffs really start now for Carmi.
You want in this week, you never, when you qualify for the playoffs after 6 games, you never want to, what we call, back your way into the postseason.
Yeah.
You want to be getting better each and every week, especially late in the season. You don't want to digress in any way. So the thing that's important for the Bulldogs to do tonight is just realize, okay, we've got no more 0 for teams on our schedule. Every game from here on out is a battle.
Yeah.
And this Eldorado team, I assure you, is going to be game tonight for an upset.
Another game that we are keeping our eye on over in Cesar as Johnson City. They're the other undefeated. They're 6-0. They are taking on Cesar Valier tonight. Cesar is 5-1. So as good as a game I think this is going to be, that's going to be one to keep your eye on. If Carmi and JC win tonight, it would potentially set up an undefeated battle in the BDC Championship next week in Johnson City. Should be a dandy, but of course we got to worry about tonight first. A very talented Eldorado team despite their record. Eagles started out the year 0-3. They won 2 of their last 3. You mentioned the heartbreaking loss last week against Cesar Valier. We talked about it earlier, Chris. There's no question they have some playmakers that can help them win this game.
And Parker Price, again, a name that sounds familiar to Bulldog fans because he's a star 3-sport athlete.
Yeah.
You Bulldog basketball fans probably recognize his name from basketball season. He's a very talented baseball player. Been playing varsity football, another kid that's been playing since he was a freshman.
Yeah.
So he is without question, their weapon, and he is a very, very talented athlete. So the Bulldogs have to do a great job of playing good contain on the edges, not letting him get outside because he's not just a drop-back passer. His athleticism, he's definitely a running threat. And, a couple weeks ago, the Rogers kid from Fairfield.
Very similar style.
Very similar, but Parker's even more of an athletic threat.
Absolutely.
He's more of a danger carrying the football. So Bulldog defense has to be on its toes tonight. Offensively, I think we just stay in our comfort zone, pound the ball, and play our brand of football.
Eagles will get the ball first. A squib kick from Mitchell Edwards that will bounce off an Eldorado returner's hands. This is Rash on the return, and he is slung down at the 17, called 18-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Eldorado from that spot.
Drax Odd on the tackle. Welcome back, Drax.
We talked about it. We're going to hear a lot of Parker Price's name, younger brother of Peyton Price, who was an outstanding running back for Eldorado during those great teams.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You remember him well.
He was a fantastic running back there, about 2014, 2016 range. on a couple of great Eldorado squads. So 1st and 10 for the Eagles from their own 19-yard line. We'll start this contest. Price will come out in the shotgun. He's got a running back to his left and to his right. They move a man in motion. That's tossed to Owens off the right edge, and Owens cuts up field and will take it across the 20-yard line. About a 4-yard pickup there for Owens. That's Josh Owens. He's a 6'2 senior, also a great basketball player. When I talked to Kurt Simon yesterday, he said those are the two guys you got to worry about, Price and Owens.
Yeah, that's their 1-2 punch. That's their version of King and Odd. That's their 1-2 punch. Eagles coming out in a double wing formation out of shotgun, running back going in motion. So you'll see a lot of variations from them tonight.
We'll see them in the shotgun really of the majority of the contest as Price is back in the shotgun here on 2nd and 6. He'll run the quarterback run off the left side. King tried to break through and couldn't make the play, and Price will get pushed out of bounds across the 25-yard line.
Pretty solid job there keeping it contained. King initially, I thought he was going to be able to get a pad on him, or get his hands on him rather for a tackle, but you can see the running threat Price presents. He had a convoy coming around there, a little kind of it was a quarterback sweep led by the back in motion and a couple pulling guards. But you can see he's got some wheels when he gets to the edge. So good job by King, getting him a little off his rhythm, and good force by the corner there on the other side.
So 3rd down and 5 here for Eldorado from their own 24-yard line. We'll see what the Eagles want to go to here on 3rd down. Scoreless ball game. We're a minute down in this first quarter. And the shotgun is Price, turns, hands it off to Owens, and he'll be taken out. It's actually Robinson, the ball carrier. Ashton Robinson, that play gets blown up, going to bring up 4th down, no gain.
And who else but big 79, Bryson Moore, coming through, making a big stop on 3rd and 5. And I don't think the Eagles are going to risk this here. I've been wrong. Yeah.
Here comes the punt team.
They thought about it for a second, but I don't think you're going to risk that this early in the game.
Eldorado, one of those teams where your quarterback is also your punter, and with an athlete like Price, it's going to be one of those punts where he is going to see if there's a running lane. If there's not, he's going to do kind of a rugby-style punt.
It looks like we're in kind of what we call a punt-safe formation, so that's very wise.
So Price set back to punt here on 4th and 4, and he'll go ahead and boot this one away. A right-footed kick. Landon Driscoll calls for the fair catch. He muffed it. That's a free ball, and who's got it? Eldorado might have recovered that, and they did. Driscoll called for a fair catch, and the Eagles made it tough for him to get it. It's a muff punt. Eldorado recovers at the Bulldog 46-yard line.
And something you can't have early in a game like this. You just force a punt, and then you turn it over and give it right back to him. Driscoll signaled the fair catch. Now you know I always get nervous when we're fielding punts.
It's the toughest play in football.
It is. It's very dangerous. And a fair catch is difficult. Sometimes you just let it bounce and go. But the Bulldogs got to shake it off and recover now.
So 1st and 10 for Eldorado from the Carmi 46-yard line. Price back to pass, his first pass attempt. Throws one near sideline that's going to be caught by Owens. And he lost the football as he went out of bounds. They're going to say it was a catch.
Yeah.
The ball came out when he was trying to turn up field. Driscoll there to push him out of bounds across the 40-yard line up to the Carmi, about the 39, about a 7-yard pickup.
You can see Price also has a nice arm, dropping back, a left-hander. Just a nice little out route on the sideline. Good play by the Eagles. Again, he got a couple feet down before he bobbled it, so they went ahead and gave him the catch. But he gave life to a team you had stopped, and this is where you got to immediately just buckle down because you don't want to give up a score in this first drive and get this Eagle team believing.
2nd down and 3, scoreless first quarter. Back to pass is Price. He rolls out to his left, gets away from King, and it's going to take it across the near sideline, right back to the regular line of scrimmage. Got maybe a yard. They'll bring up 3rd down and about 2 here for Eldorado.
Again, you see his quickness. He made something out of nothing. 9 out of 10 quarterbacks, that's probably a sack, but you see how quick he is if he gets around you.
Definitely 4-down territory here for Eldorado on 3rd, and they're going to call it 1.
Without question.
Got the ball marked just past the Carmi 37-yard line.
Might see a fullback dive here.
More in a tight formation here, but still in the shotgun is Price. Price takes a snap, quarterback run up the middle. He's got the first down across the 35-yard line. He puts his shoulder down out of bounds up to the Carmi 37. Parker Price gets the first down with his legs.
That was a design run. That was almost a pistol formation look. Price at the quarterback position, 2 backs in front of him. Takes a direct snap and just runs that little power sweep. And just like that, the Eldorado Eagles are very close to the red zone.
It's no surprise. We knew this Eldorado team was going to be capable of driving the ball down the field. They've got some playmakers, but the muff punt by Carmi put them in a tough spot. So 1st and 10 for Eldorado, 9:42 to play in a scoreless first quarter. Price, they toss it right side to Owens. He's got blockers trying to bounce it outside, and he cannot. Landon Driscoll come up to make the tackle. Owens got about 4 yards up across the inside the Carmi 25. It'll be second down at about 7.
And Price was pretty fortunate to get that toss off. Normally he's pitching that ball underhanded, but
that was
the way
a
the
chest
snap
pass
was,
to him
yeah,
right
he recovered it just enough to get it shoveled off to the back. So kind of averted disaster there, but the receiver to the far side got her corner pinned inside and allowed that get them about a 4-yard gain there. So again, this Eldorado team, as I said before, they were going to be game to play tonight, and they're showing it.
9 minutes to go in the first quarter. We're scoreless. First drive of the game here for Eldorado. 2nd and 7. Price, they give it off the left side to Robinson, and Robinson will take that one inside the 20-yard line up to the Bulldog 18. Bring up 3rd down and short once again.
Off tackle counter there. Receiver to our side came on a jet sweep. Fullback comes back the other way, pull a guard and a tackle, and just their version of a counter. Nicely executed. So
again, 4-down territory here for Eldorado. Got the football at the Carmi 19-yard line. It's 3rd down and 2. Eagles have killed almost 4 minutes of clock in this first quarter. 8:15 to go in the first. 3rd and 2. Price, quarterback run again up the middle. This time he got stuffed. Bulldog defense able to stop the run for Price. Gavin Payton, the first Bulldog there. And now it brings up 4th down about 3.
Monster play by Gavin Payton right there. The Bulldogs needed that. Definitely creating a 4th and 2 situation.
So if you're Eldorado, what do you call here on 4th and a long 2, nearly 4th and 3, football at the Carmi 20?
I might look for Price on a sweep again. He's your best athlete. Look for them just to put the ball in his hands and just get us the first down. There's that heavy formation again. You might expect a sweep to the left side here.
4th and 3. Price is going to pass here. He throws it to the sideline. That is
catch.
Caught by Owens, and he is going to have enough to move the chains.
Shows you what I know. They went to the left side, but beautiful
Gutsy play
catch.
call.
Beautiful little, just a quick out to the end, Owens, and he reached down and got that ball. I thought it was going to hit the ground, but that was a heck of a catch by Owens.
Well, Price has thrown 2 passes. Both have been completions to Josh Owens. Talked about him. He's their best player outside of Price. When Price doesn't have the ball, it's usually Owens.
They've been a 1-2 punch tonight for sure. Again, Owens went down and got that ball an inch from the ground. Just picked that thing up.
So the Eagles move the chains. 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 15-yard line. 7 minutes to go in the scoreless first quarter. Price, quick screen off the outside, and a big hit by Caleb Siebers. Football comes out. Are they going to say it was a fumble or an incomplete pass?
No signal yet.
Eldorado recovered it regardless. It was Robinson who caught the football, and Caleb Siebers laid the hammer on him. It's going to be a loss of 5 here for the Eagles.
Since they went ahead and marked it as a loss, they counted that as a catch. So, wow. What a fantastic job by Caleb Siebers.
Great read by Siebers.
I'm telling you, he has had a fantastic season. Has been a huge addition to this defense. Read that like a book, and that's what you have to do. It was just a quick wide receiver screen, easy for me to say. Read that beautifully, and that's how you bring the noise, as they say.
2nd and 17 here for Eldorado. Price in the shotgun. They move Owens in motion. They fake the toss. Price will throw it back over to Owens. He wasn't looking, and Trayton Vickers picks it off down the far sideline. He gets a block. Vickers 35-30, 25-20, 15, and he's taken down at the Eldorado 13-yard line. Trey Vickers, 1st and 10, Carmi White County.
Oh, talk about Trayton Vickers has been an interception machine this season, and you talk about us needing that at a critical time. They tried to run Owens in motion all the way across the field. Misdirection. The line steps to the left. A little play action, trying to swing it out to the flats. And you're right, Cole. their timing was off. Owens wasn't even looking for the ball. Price threw it behind him, and Rick Vickers was waiting right there.
Thought for a second that ball was going to go out of bounds. It looked like it was out of the reach of Vickers. Now, there is a penalty flag, so I assume it's going to be on the return.
It will be a block in the back. I think they're going to get Isaac King for a block in the back at midfield.
So the return on the interception won't be as good as initially thought.
But we'll still take it.
Yeah, absolutely. That stops that drive. And, man, if you're Eldorado, really had something going there. Took over 7 minutes of clock.
Bulldogs handed you a gift. Yep. They, like I said, Price and Owens were just not on the same page on that play. Had they been, that might have been something there.
1st and 10 for Carmi. Their first offensive snap from their own 45-yard line. They give to King up the middle. King across midfield. Lots of running room. Busted outside at the 40, 35 and the 30, 25, 20, and Isaac King is taken down inside the Eldorado 20. 1st and 10. Carmi White County, a rush appliance, first down.
Same old story, same old song and dance. There was once a song by that title. Power I formation, you know what's coming. And the first offensive play for the Bulldogs tonight, wearing number 7, does his thing. We mentioned the offensive line, the kudos they got this week, just making it look easy.
So Carmi goes with the T formation here at the Eldorado 18-yard line. They give to Odd left side. Odd goes up the middle, and we'll take it up to the Eldorado 11 for about a 6-yard pickup.
And like everyone else, Eldorado coming out in a 6-man front. 4 down linemen, 2 ends. 3 linebackers stacked in the box, only 2 safeties.
5:15 to go in a scoreless first quarter. Carmi trying to find the end zone first. Trayton Vickers' interception set them up a couple of nice runs by King and Odd. 2nd down and 5 under center his leg. They give it off to King, left side, looking for running room, and not much of it there. A good job by the Eldorado front to penetrate that. Not sure if he got the first down. Definitely 4-down territory here, but it's 3rd and short.
Yeah, that was just our classic power G play to the left. Bryson Moore pulling around from the right guard position. Eldorado's defensive end, top side, did a good job just kind of crashing all that down, not creating much of a running lane there. Might see a Warren leg sneak here, possibly.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah.
At the Eldorado 7-yard line. Under center is leg. They go to the wing back to the left formation here for leg. They give it off to Kings. That's Odd, the 3rd man through, and Odd will take it inside the 5. It's going to be 1st and goal here for the Bulldogs at around the 3-yard line. A rush appliance, first down.
Nicely executed. Again, in this territory, inside the 10, that's all you need. 3- and 4-yard chunks. Eldorado is stout up front.
They had some big guys up
275.
there. 275.
Yep. They got a 300-pounder out there. Well, just freshman, but they do have some size. Already at 285.
Already approaching the 4-minute mark here in a scoreless first quarter. Under center is leg. They give it off to King off the right side. King spins away from a tackle and scores. Touchdown, Carmi White County. A 4-yard run by Isaac King.
Beautiful job. And I tell you, the center, Nelson Ryder, and the right guard, Bryce Moore, did a nice job. Eldorado brought a run blitz. They brought their safety up in the A gap, who's just going to come screaming through there. Picked that up nicely. Gave King the crease he needed off the edge and punched it in. Great answer by Carmi after coming out after turning the ball over on the muff punt. Big play on defense, the interception by Vickers, turned momentum around. Bulldogs capitalized.
So King had the long run to put the Bulldogs in the red zone, and he caps it off with a 4-yard rushing touchdown. That is his 17th rushing touchdown of the season. They give it off to King on the 2-point play, and I don't think anybody touched him.
No.
Into the end zone for 2. So your score with 3:58 left to go in the first quarter. It's the Bulldogs 8, Eldorado nothing. We'll take a 30-second break right here on 97.3 WRUL.
In today's environment, being able to do all of your banking from home is not only convenient, but a necessity. People's National Bank makes it easy for you to do your banking without actually going to the bank. From online banking, mobile banking, free mobile deposit, to transferring funds and paying bills, it's easy and convenient for you to do your banking all from your mobile phone or computer. Get started by going to peoplesnationalbank.com to sign up for online banking today. People's National Bank, making it easy to bank from anywhere. Member FDIC.
3:58 to go in the first quarter. The Bulldogs strike first on a 4-yard touchdown run by who else but Isaac King, his 17th touchdown on the ground this season. 18th overall touchdown for the junior. I've got a big stat on that here in just a minute. Squib kick here for Edwards. Eldorado can't corral it, but the Eagles fall on it at the Eldorado 43-yard line. So, Chris, with that touchdown and 2-point conversion for Isaac King, he is now tied the school record for most points in school history, 302.
Wow. And the
tied
record
Logan
holder,
Rogers.
Logan Rogers. Wow.
So the next time Isaac King finds the end zone, he will have another school record.
And he has tonight and 2 more weeks of regular season to
I think
do
he'll
it.
get it.
I got a feeling. I don't know. You want to flip it?
I bet you $10 he does.
$10? Okay. I won't take that bet.
1st and 10 for Eldorado from their own 42-yard line. Price will give it off on the left side. That is going to be number 4, the ball carrier. That's Colton Patrick. Haven't heard his name a lot this season for Eldorado. And a loss of a yard there for Patrick. 2nd down and long coming up here for Eldorado. 3:40 to go in the first quarter. 8-0 Bulldogs.
And Bryson Moore once again doing his thing. Again, Bryson isn't size-wise the biggest defensive or offensive lineman in the league. But defensive side, he is lean, athletic muscle, and he does such a good job with his hands.
2nd down, 11. Parker Price in the shotgun. Quarterback run to the right side. Price trying to turn upfield, and he does. Takes it across the 45 up to about the Eldorado 48. It'll be 3rd down and about 6 here for the Eagles.
Again, it's what they do. You know, Price is such a dual threat. It's just wise play calling. You know, it almost looks like the old single wing, but it's not. It's a double wing formation. But you just direct snap the ball to him, get a fullback, a wing, pull a guard. It's just a quarterback sweep. It's just a different version of a sweep. Instead of a tailback or a fullback, it's your quarterback. And, you know, that it's been a good game plan by the Eagles the whole season. It's simple. Get the ball in your best player's hand.
Possibly 4-down territory, 3rd and 5 from their own 48-yard line. Price in the shotgun. They give it off to Robinson up the gut, and he will take it across midfield, about 2 yards shy of the first, but into Bulldog territory, 49.
Yeah, they'll definitely go for it here. They have to.
You don't want to give the Bulldogs too
No.
short a field if you don't get it, but it comes to a point, Chris, where you get to the
Keep the ball out of Carmi's hands as much as you can. So
motion. They run the quarterback run again up the turf. He got there.
I think he's maybe a half yard short. Well,
he had some momentum and they got stopped. Gavin Payton.
Yeah, the side judge showing it short. I think he's short.
They might measure, but I don't think he got it.
No, he didn't. From my angle, he's at least half yard short.
Yep, the official's already getting the ball from the Carmi sideline. He's short. They're going to measure, though.
From I'm looking right at it. We're right on it, Cole. It is short at least a half yard.
Thought Price had something initially on the quarterback run, but he just got stuffed right at the 1st down marker, and he's well short.
Bulldogs trotting off the field, the defense, so still waiting for the officials to signal it. They've never given the official signal, but take our word for it.
There they go.
All right, finally.
That's going to be a rush appliance 1st down for Carmi. So if you're Eldorado, you had a good drive last possession due to the muff punt, leads to an interception, and then now you go for it on 4th down, you don't get it. Gives the ball to Carmi at their own 47-yard line. 92 seconds left in this first quarter, 8-0 Bulldogs.
There's that bunch formation. Let's see if we see that fullback dive from King out of this.
Saw that a lot 2 weeks ago in that game against Fairfield. Under center his leg here on 1st down. Warren will toss it near side to King, looking for running room, tries to bounce it to the left side, and he's drugged down right at the line of scrimmage, no gain.
That was a nice tackle there. Number 5, Bradley Boston, doing a good job stuffing that. You know, that'd been a very successful play for the Bulldogs the last couple of weeks, so nice job.
And so with 10:15 to go in the second quarter, Eldorado will start this drive at their own 35-yard line. So Price goes back in the shotgun. Really a must-score drive here for Eldorado. Price will go back to pass. He'll roll out to his right. Lobs on the fleet. Out of the reach of Josh Owens.
Credit the pressure that time again by Isaac King. Getting him out of his comfort zone. Trying to roll out to the left. Thought he was going to look deep downfield to his receiver at the top of the field. Had a little space on the safety go mat, but pressure made him kind of rush that throw to the flats. So with 2nd and 10, I think, they're going to be forced to the air now, most of the plays of this series.
So 10-10 to go here in the second quarter. Bulldogs leading 16-0. In the shotgun is Price once again. They'll move Robinson from right to left. 7 on the play clock. And they fake the handoff. Price will run it up the middle. And again, nowhere to go that time for Parker Price. Jackson Odd brought him down. On the helmet from Price to Odd. Brings up 3rd down and 7.
Well, they're old friends from their Eldorado days years ago. Jax was once an Eldorado native, and so those two young men know each other well. Nelson Ryder also getting in on that play, but again, if you're the Eagles, I know there's only 9:37 in the second quarter, but you just really feel like this is a do-or-die drive for them.
With the way things are going offensively for Carmi.
Yeah, Carmi facing little resistance at all.
3rd down and 7. Price back to pass once again. Throws one on the far sideline. Pass is incomplete. He was looking for Owens as well as that on the coverage. Brings up 4th and 7, and the Eagles
solid this year. Not many deep balls have been given up. And if there's
sides, we apologize for those technical issues. Of course, that's part of broadcasting when you've got internet to deal with.
Computers and technology didn't always cooperate, does it?
2nd down and 2 here for Carmi at their own 40. Leg will go back to pass here for the first time. Steps up, trying to run away, and this time Eldorado is going to bring him down. Eagles brought the blitz once again. Carmi tried to go with the pass play, and it did not work.
No.
Leg is sacked, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 5.
Kind of held off the end coming off the edge. Turned a little quicker. When there's that many guys coming, if we may have called a quick out or even a screen on that may have been a jailbreak-type touchdown, but just not enough time for the deep play action pass to develop there.
So maybe not 4-down territory here for Carmi, but it's 3rd and 5 from the Bulldog 37. That's going to make it 3rd and 10 as Andrew Dotson jumped off sides.
Uncharacteristic.
False start.
Yeah.
False start, I should say.
A couple uncharacteristic mistakes for the Bulldogs here.
And if you're Eldorado, you're giving yourself a chance because now you're 25 yards out of it.
Just such great vision. He got a nice block on that play from Andrew Dotson. Came out leading on that power G and turned the end out and then just leave it up to King to do the rest. Hurdled a defender. Finally got shoved out.
So Carmi extends. Carmi leads it 22-0 here over Eldorado. Week 7 of high school football action. Looking for a score update while we've got the time. Again, keeping our eye on that Johnson City and Cesar game going on in Cesar tonight. Let's see what I can find. I do know that How about this, Chris? In the second quarter, this was 6 minutes ago. In the second quarter, it's Cesar Valier 14, Johnston City 7.
Wow.
So the Bulldogs could really use.
Halftime, it was Fairfield 12, Carmi 8. So
conference is weird this year.
It is. It's very weird. It's unpredictable.
Never know what you're going to see week in, week out.
That, like I said, Cesar is not a bad football team. You know, we just kind of took advantage of some turnover opportunities and kind of steamrolled them after that. But they're a good team.
Edwards, a line drive kick, is going to be bobbled at the 25. Picked up at the 22 here by Owens, and he'll be taken down right away. That was Lane Gwaltney there on the tackle, the senior. So it's 1st and 10 for Eldorado from that spot. And again, this feels like a must-score drive here for the Eagles, down by 22.
Yeah. If the Bulldogs put the clamps down on this drive, you know, I expect us to get the ball back, take another one down.
So 6:41 to go here in the second quarter. This Carmi Eldorado rivalry, it's been entertaining really ever since these two teams started colliding in the BDC. Price in the shotgun here on first down. They fake the toss. Quarterback run off the right side. Price gets to the sideline. He's off.
He may be gone.
Price across midfield, 45-40. Parker Price is going to go all the way for a touchdown. And just like that, you see the big play capability from Parker Price a 78-yard touchdown run.
We talked about it. You had to constantly be aware of where he is, and you have to contain. You can't get beat to the outside. That time, prime example. Price kept the ball in that sweep, broke the contain outside, and down the sideline he went. If your corners and ends don't stay at home, it's that quick. He's that kind of an athlete. And there you go, 6 points. Just when you thought the Bulldogs were about to really put the clamps on this, just like that, Eldorado with the spark of life. And you called it, Cole. If they could do something this drive, it's not quite over.
Kurt Simon said yesterday when I talked to him, we got to limit the big plays. And that's really the first big play Eldorado has had, and it goes 78 yards for a touchdown to get them on the scoreboard. So they'll go for two.
Don't be surprised if he carries it again.
Price will hand it off to, this is Owens on the jet sweep, and he's in.
Yeah.
So just like that, Eldorado not going away. They find the end zone for the 2-point play along with the touchdown to make it 22-8 with 6.5 to go in the second quarter. We'll take a 30-second break right here on 97.3 WRUL. So 6.5 to go in the first half. Eldorado finds the end zone. Do want to let fans know that we are back up and running on the WRUL Sports YouTube channel. Apologize for that. Haley Winkleman and J.C. Tinsley are here running the laptop and the camera for us. Asher Penrod and Scott Mehring are back at the WRUL studio. Cole Carter and Chris Myers. Eldorado finds the end zone. It's 22-8. Bulldogs in front. Eagles will kick this one off.
Eldorado proving they're not going to go away.
No.
They're here to
in
fight.
this rivalry, what'd you expect?
Nothing less than that. They were going to fight.
A line drive kick that will make its way. It's bobbled by Carmi at the 20-yard line, but then picked up by Kate Allen. And Allen's going to run it across the 35 and then taken down out of bounds across the Carmi 40. So almost the second muffed kick for the Bulldogs that almost turned into disaster, but the Bulldogs fall on it, 1st and 10.
Credit Kate Allen for picking that thing back up, having the presence of mind not to panic, kind of keep his eyes up, reach down and get the ball and make something out of nothing.
It's always a scary, risky play. Any sort of special teams kickoffs, especially on a line drive kick, you've got that ball screaming towards you. It's never easy.
TV makes it look easy, but when you're down there on the field doing it, there's a lot going on with that.
So 1st and 10, leg will move Dotson in motion. They give it off to King on the right side on a counter. King cuts back to the inside. How about a one-play touchdown of our own? Can he get there? It's King. He tries to juke out Price, and he can't get there. Parker Price saved the touchdown run as King takes it all the way to the Eldorado 12-yard line. That's a Rush Appliance first down. Thought that they might have answered with their own one-play touchdown.
Yeah, I thought he was going too. It was just that kind of almost a misdirection, a counter-type action in the backfield, and King, as he's so good at doing, took his time, let his blockers set up, and I thought he was going too. I spoke a little too early. Price made a good, almost a slide. He just slid and took his legs out from under him, saved the touchdown.
6 minutes to go here in the second quarter, 22-8. Bulldogs in front, trying to add to it. Under center his leg. They move on in motion. They toss it to odd left side. That play blown up. Josh Owens. Or correction, it wasn't Owens. That was, we get the number there, 57.
Austin
Robinson there for Eldorado.
Spot just slanted inside, busted through there. Great play. Again, they're run blitzing about every down now. They're bringing the house. And when you do that, you're going to
tied at 14. Bulldogs lead this one 22-8. King will take it inside the 10-yard line. He's not going to have a first down, so 3rd down at about 5 here for the Bulldogs.
And that was the ISO there, just simple power up the middle. As we've discussed all year, that's basically what you're going to see out of that power I formation. Some movement there. definite 4-down territory. If we come out in that again, I may expect to see the exact.
Bulldogs leading 22-8. 3rd and 6. Under center is Leg. He will turn, fake the handoff. Now it's Odd. Second man through. Odd nearly broke that one, but he stopped short of a first down up to the 4-yard line. So it's going to be 4th down and about 2 here for the Bulldogs.
Another good play all year for the Bulldogs, just out of the wing formation. Fake the fullback, get a little pause, have them bite on the fullback fake, bring the wing around off tackle. Odd was about a yard short. That's 4th and 1. It's going to be a long one. Looks
like 4th and 2.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
So Carmi's going to go for it on 4th down from the Eldorado 4-yard line. Big play here. Under center is Leg. They give it off to Odd. Left side. Odd's going to have the first down, and he's got the touchdown. Touchdown, Carmi White County. A 4-yard run by Odd, his second of the night. And the Bulldogs extend their lead 28-8.
Again, welcome back, Drax Odd. Nice to have him back in the lineup doing his thing. Just a good, solid power run off the left side, and just like that, the Bulldogs answer.
So Odd with his second touchdown run of the evening. And the Bulldogs have scored on all 4 of their possessions. Looking to extend on the 2-point conversion. 3:42 to go in the second quarter. Under center is Leg. He will toss it right side to Kill. .342 to go here in the second quarter. The Bulldogs extend their lead. It's 30-8 here over Eldorado. Mitchell Edwards will get ready to kick this one off. As the officials blow it ready, and Edwards boots it away. A line drive kick will take a bounce, and Owens has it at the 15-yard line. Owens running hard across the middle, and he'll be taken down up across the Eldorado 35-yard line. So the Eagles had a one-play drive last time, a 78-yard run by Parker Price. And really right back where we were, it's really a must-score drive here for the Eagles to stay in the game.
And they've shown, obviously, they have the capability. With Price, one play can happen.
It's really been finishing drives for Eldorado. They've had a couple of times they've gotten into Carmi territory with the interception. They missed a 4th down opportunity and a couple of punts.
Yeah, if Eldorado converts when they could have, this could be a closer ball game. If they could have taken that first drive and scored, this is a different game.
1st and 10, Price in the shotgun. They fake the toss, handoff left side. Number 4 is the ball carrier. That is Colton Patrick. And that one went nearly nowhere.
Gavin Payton and Bryson Moore in there. That's their version of a counter. Back coming in motion one way, handed off underneath to the other wing back, and Bulldogs snuffed that one out pretty good.
You know, Chris, when you do all this movement and double handoff counters out of the shotgun, it's really hard just to get back to the line of scrimmage. If you saw that time, he really kind of gained the yard when he got it, but he just got back to the line of scrimmage. Nothing was there.
No, you've got to hit that really quick. Your timing's got to be perfect on those.
2nd and 10, Price back to pass. Quick throw on the far sideline, and a big hit by Trayton Vickers, and a penalty flag comes down on the hit.
I don't know if
Kurt Simon, hands in the air, not sure what the flag was.
Is he going to call helmet to helmet?
It looked like a clean hit from our view.
Yeah, looked like shoulder pads.
Wasn't a pass interference, and what does that mean, Chris?
I believe he's calling a personal foul.
I'm not sure about that one.
That was a clean football hit. That was all shoulder. Yeah, I don't know if he thought he was a defenseless receiver. He wasn't. I mean, he was going up for the ball. Vickers used his shoulder. I didn't see any helmet-to-helmet contact. Called him for the personal foul.
Kurt Simon not too happy about that one, reasonably so.
Yeah, I didn't see that warning, that call, but they've made it.
Kurt's still looking for an explanation.
Yeah, Kurt is not happy.
So moves the football. That's a 15-yard penalty. Moves the football all the way to the Carmi 39. Price in the shotgun here on 1st and 10. Fumble on the handoff. Robinson couldn't corral it. Who's got it? Waiting. Still waiting.
Bulldogs indicating they may have it, but no signal.
Eldorado was able to recover.
Yeah, I think number 77 for the Eagles might have fell on that one.
I think they might have actually gained a yard on the play.
Yeah.
It was Price was trying to give it off to Robinson. It was not a clean handoff.
No.
So the Eagles catch a break there. And again, they've got something going here. They've got the football at the Carmi 38-yard line. 2 minutes to go in the first half. 30-8, Carmi in front. Price in the shotgun. Moves Owens in motion. They toss to Owens right side. Owens with nowhere to go.
And again,
Caleb Siebers on the tackle.
Fantastic job by Siebers. He came up underneath the block of the receiver, fought off that block beautifully, forced that to the inside, and made the play himself. Again, Siebers just has such good instincts for finding the football. And it's not always easy. When you're out there on the corner playing a wideout, against a dual threat team, you kind of got to be in position at all times, okay? I can't totally commit to the run because my receiver could go by me for a pass. I can't be faked by a pass always because I got to honor the run. So it's a tough job out there on the perimeter like that. But his instincts are so good at reading those plays.
4-down territory here for Eldorado. 3rd and 9 from the Carmi 38. Price fakes the handoff, back to pass, looking downfield, wants to take off, now throws one incomplete. He was looking in the direction that time, I believe, of number 3. He was looking for was Oliver Burtis.
Yeah.
Or actually, it was Owens, number 2. Brings up 4th down and 9.
We'll play action there. What I noticed, our ends, and credit them for doing this, both of them had like a 1,001, 1,002 pause before they rushed because they're honoring and they're respecting the scrambling ability of Price, but that was smart football there. Waited till he was committed to throw it, then went after him.
So here you got 4th and 9 for Eldorado. 56 seconds to go in the second quarter. 30-8, Carmi in front. So the Eagles, of course, will go for it here on 4th down. Play clock already down to 7. Eagles still in the huddle. They're going to have to burn a timeout, and they will.
They are.
Joe Clark will call a timeout with 56.1 seconds on the clock. So we do have a score update from Cesar-Valier. It is the Indians of Johnson City leading the Red Devils 21-7 now. I believe that game is near the end of the first half.
It's like the sleeping giant might have awoke.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm looking at the Black Diamond Conference Twitter. Yeah, Johnson City scored twice in the final 4 minutes of the first half to take a 21-14 lead there in Cesar-Valier. So, again, Carmi could get some help from Cesar if they can defeat Johnson City. But regardless, if Carmi wins this one and the Indians win that one, it's going to set up a battle of the unbeatens next Friday in Johnson City. You think we could play that game at maybe SIU Carbondale, maybe sell it out?
I would love that. I would love that. You'd have a lot of fans.
Maybe take it up to Champaign, maybe. I don't know. That's a big game.
Yeah, if you played that on a Saturday, you'd get a lot of other Black Diamond schools coming down to watch that one. So
think about it. If you're listening, IHSA, think about it.
Yeah.
4th down and 9 here for Eldorado. They're still waiting in the huddle. Again, coming up here in a few minutes, we'll have the Jordan Funeral Group halftime show, as we'll look for some other scores around the area, the conference and Southern Illinois. But a big play here, biggest play the first half, you could say, for Eldorado, as they break the huddle at the line of scrimmage now. 4th and 9 from the Carmi 38-yard line. Bulldogs leading 30-8.
This is the only way to keep their hopes alive because the Bulldogs do get the ball to start the second half. So they got it.
In the shotgun is Price. He's back to pass. Bulldogs bring pressure. Price trying to roll out to his left. Back at his own 45, and he won't get away, or he does, and he throws it away. Incomplete. They're going to say he was rather sacked or out of bounds. They're going to say he stepped out. Either way, it's going to be a turnover on downs. And a 1st and 10 for Carmi White County, a Rush Appliance first down. The Bulldogs with another 4th down stop. They brought the pressure that time, Chris, expecting the pass play.
They brought the house on that one. Nelson Ryder coming from his linebacker spot right through the A gap. Price with no chance to do anything with that, but amazingly somehow still threw the football without getting sacked. But Bulldogs, I mean, I've said this before, the quickest way to negate blitz with the linebackers.
Now, Carmi's got time to score again if they want here in the first half. They've got all 3 timeouts. And they give it off to King, left side. He takes it across midfield, then across the Eldorado 45.
Let's see if we use a timeout here. It doesn't look like we are. I think it looks like Coach Simon's going to be content just to run this to halftime, knowing we get the ball to start, although.
A little surprising.
Yeah, you got all your timeouts. You thought you might try to punch one in, but.
Yeah, they'll headsets are coming off. They'll call it a half. And again, that takes out a possible mistake. You never know what can happen. You're content with a 22-point halftime lead.
Especially when you're getting the ball starting next. You're right. You don't want to risk a pick or something crazy happening. Just you got a solid lead. You're in control of the game. Just be content to go to halftime with where you're at.
So your halftime score, Carmi County 30, Eldorado 8. We will take a 3-minute break. We come back. We'll have the Jordan Funeral Group halftime show right here on 97.3 WRUL. This is the Jordan Funeral Group halftime show, remembering lives well lived and honoring the tradition of Bulldog athletics. Visit jordanfuneralgroup.com for more information. Halftime score, the Bulldogs leading Eldorado 30-8. And Chris, that was kind of the first half we expected. Eldorado had the long run by Price for the touchdown, the 78-yarder, but outside of that, the offense didn't have much going. Carmi helped them with a muff punt on their first drive, but the Trayton Vickers interception, as you mentioned earlier, really turned the game, and it's been all Carmi ever since.
Yeah, and, to start the game, obviously that's not what you want for the Bulldogs to muff a punt like that and give Eldorado a second chance at some life there. And there for a second, it looked like the Eagles might capitalize. But again, good teams come up with plays when they have to, and Trayton Vickers made that huge interception on that swing pass. A little miscommunication between Price and his receiver, took it all the way back. It was called back for a block in the back, but regardless, the Bulldogs got the ball and did what good teams do. Always capitalize on a turnover. Don't waste opportunities. When you get a turnover, capitalize on it. Don't waste it, and the Bulldogs did just that, cashed it in. And honestly, you're exactly right, Cole. Outside of that long run by Price, the Bulldogs have dominated this football game, in all honesty. Offensively, not facing much resistance from the Eagle defense.
After that Vickers interception, the Bulldogs would drive down the field, and Isaac King would take it in from 4 yards out at the 4-minute mark there in the first quarter. Bulldogs led 18-0. Then it was Jackson Odd who scored in the next possession from 2 yards out. King would run the 2-point conversion, and with that 2-point play, Isaac King became the all-time leading scorer in Carmi White County football history. So all-time leading scorer, that sounds more of a basketball term, but you take the 6 points for a touchdown and the 2 points for a 2-point play. That is your quote-unquote points in football from an individual standpoint, and Isaac King has scored more points than any other football player in Carmi football history. That's saying a lot.
And it's just been an absolute pleasure to watch him do it again. Just a tremendous young man, a hard worker, class act. Seeing a guy from Jeff Brown, another great athlete, saying hi to us there. I just mentioned his name on the air. Folks from the 80s remember that young man. But Isaac, I've said it before, and people have asked me, is he that good? And I say yes. Is he the fastest kid? If you line him up in a sprint with speedsters around here, no. But the things that he does when no one's watching, and I reiterate this all the time, it's not what you do on Friday night. It's what you do the rest of the week.
Yeah.
When he's up at the crack of dawn lifting weights, when he's running sprints in the heat of summer, when he doesn't have to, when he's flipping tires, when he's doing things like that, when no one is around, when there's days you don't feel like doing it, but you do it anyway. He's that kid, and that's why he has the success he does. He just outworks everybody, and it's paid off. You see it on the field week in, week out. Hard work pays off, and not just him. This whole senior group has that mentality. They have that attitude of let's work hard. You've heard Coach Simon say it week after week. I don't have to motivate these kids to practice. Yeah. They're motivating me to challenge them to practice. But again, to watch Isaac do this, and there have been some great players in Bulldog history. So, I mean, to have the chance just to witness this, it's really special.
And not just Isaac, but this senior class in general. You mentioned Kurt saying it. He said it multiple times that this senior class is so motivated on their own. They come into practice, and they, Kurt doesn't have to beg them to go hard and do things the right way. And it's been a few years since Carmi has had a big senior class for one, but then a big senior class that has leadership like these guys do.
Well, it's the thing. When you have a nucleus of seniors that have great attitudes and work hard, number one, what that does, it changes the atmosphere at practice because the guys behind them, especially your sophomores, your freshmen, your younger guys are looking at them and saying, okay, this is how these guys prepare. They're our leaders. We look up to them. If they're out there saying, let's go, let's work hard, let's do this, well, guess what? It's the trickle-down effect. If the younger guys are seeing that, they're saying, okay, this is what we got to do to be successful. We got to work hard. We got to be at practice early. We need to stay at practice late. We need to do the things that aren't easy but make us successful. Conversely, when you have years, if you're older guys, quite honestly, don't have that kind of attitude, well, guess what else trickles down? A bad attitude can trickle down to your own guy. Well, these guys aren't working hard. If they don't have to, I guess I don't have to. And it creates a poison. So attitude is everything, and especially in football when you got senior leaders that bring it week in and week out. And I'll tell you, we've all played the game. Those that have played the game, football practice, as much as I love the game, as we all love it, football practice is not fun. No, football practice, you get in the midpoint of the year, it's just monotonous drudgery some days. You're like, let's get through this, But with this group of kids, it's not the case. They're like, yeah, let's go. Let's get it. I'm just being honest, and everyone has that in the back of their mind. But when you just mentally plow through it and just that infectious attitude of, man, this is great. We get to play the greatest game on earth. Let's not waste any day. Even if it's practice, let's not waste this because You play how you practice, and if you're practicing that hard, you're going to play that hard, and you see it from this team. And so, again, with this, you're seeing the results, and they've shown it tonight. If we take care of business in the second half, it's setting up a showdown with Johnson City, another good football team.
Yeah.
Very talented, very big, and I just can't wait to see it. It's going to be a great game next week.
And again, I'm keeping an eye on that game in Chesterfield. Last we checked, it was a 7-point JC lead. I assume it's halftime now, but 21-14. Last time we saw a score update from that game. Other scores from around the area at halftime: CTR leads Edwards County 20-0. Also scrolling through here, trying to see. Looks like DuQuoin leading AJ 7-0. That game's probably higher scoring since that was about 30 minutes ago. Murfreesboro leads Harrisburg 20-0. Pinckneyville leading Nashville at halftime 10-0. West Frankfort over Heron 7-6. And that's about all these scores that I can see at the moment. And it's also interesting to kind of check around to see. Okay, you're talking about if Carmi, let's say they win out the rest of the year, you're looking at a 9-0 team that could be a 2 or a 3 seed in the southern part of the region comes to the playoffs. You always say if you go 9-0, 8-1, you're going to play a 5-4 or a 6-3 team. But when you talk about the further north you go, those 5-4 and 6-3 teams, they're good football teams.
They are teams, I can assure you, 5-4 and 6-3, Springfield North, are teams that could easily win conferences down here. I'm just being honest, if you want to know the talent level. So never take it for granted. I mean, and it's awesome. If we go 9-0, you deserve the chance to play a 5-4. But 5-4 in playoff football is not 5-4 as regular season football. A 5-4 team can be just as dangerous as a 9-0.
Yeah.
So once the playoffs hit, it's Katie bar the door.
Yeah.
Week in, week out, every team you're playing, you have the mentality they're as good or better than you.
And if you look at the Black Diamond Conference, the past handful of times that a team has ran the table in the regular season, they usually lose in the first round. It just kind of it happens. It happened to Carmi back in 2011. Carlisle comes to town, a 5-4 team. They beat the Bulldogs by 7. And so, and knowing these kids, talk to them throughout the week, I think they're humbled for where they are. They understand they're a good team, and they are. This is a good football team. But they also know they have a lot of work to do, and they're going to face some teams that are better than them, and it could be as early as next week.
Yeah, and they'll be the first to tell you they haven't accomplished what they wanted yet. Goal one, getting the playoff, that's just a check mark. But barring, not skipping ahead for this second half of this game, they know the challenge that's before them next week. Don't think for a second that once they take care of this game that they haven't had this Johnson City team marked on their calendars for a while. They know that from here on out, it's playoff level football. And this Johnson City team, we're ranked, 8 and 9 with each other in 2A?
Yep.
It is going to be a flat-out showdown. And I fully expect this team to be ready to rise to the occasion. But this type of game they're going to go into next week, that's what it's going to come down to. Week in and week out, it's going to be that. And touching on your point about the Black Diamond teams in the playoffs, if you look at it, as dominant as Fairfield has been the past 10 years, having their struggles this year. But as dominant as they were over the past 10 years, I don't think they got out of the second round of the playoffs.
They haven't.
They haven't.
No, they haven't.
I mean, there hasn't been a Black Diamond team do that. Maybe Chester, we'd have to do some research.
It was a few years ago. We talked about it before earlier in the year, but I think Chester might have been the last team to get past the second round.
And they may have been the benefactor of playing a southern schedule.
True.
On that.
True.
But let's be honest. To be what we call, and I'm just saying it from my viewpoint, for this team, if we go 9-0, I would love to see this team minimum third round playoff. Yeah. I think a Black Diamond team getting to the third round of playoff might quiet some of the so-called criticism out there of this conference, just being frank about it. But, again, can't look that far ahead, but that's what's in these kids' minds, not just, Johnson City's next after they take care of this next half. It's a game at a time, but once the playoffs come around, I think their goal, they won't be satisfied with the one and done.
So again, halftime score, the Bulldogs leading Eldorado 30-8, and of course it is Corn Day weekend going on in downtown Carmi. A lot going on over the next 48 hours or so. Me and Chris will be live in downtown Carmi tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We'll be set up in front of the 103 Coffee Shop, so swing by and say hey. We'll be there. We'll be wearing our sweatshirts.
Gonna have
staying
some
warm.
coffee?
We'll have some coffee. I'm not a coffee
drinker?
guy. I'll probably go more of an energy drink. But
if they got something chocolatey, maybe a
basically
little
give me hot chocolate with some espresso.
hot cocoa. Hot cocoa. Is that what
It'll be chilly. It's going to be a chilly
All
weekend. It's chilly tonight, but it is a Saturday morning sports show tomorrow at 9. It'll be only on 97.3 WRUL from 9 to 10, and then after that, if you are already downtown, there's going to be a day full of things to do, a lot of live music, and the parade, I believe, starts at 4 o'clock tomorrow on Main Street in Carmi. It's always a fun day, and I think for the first time in a while, it's going to be some enjoyable weather for Corny. A little bit chilly, but I think last year it was like 90-something degrees.
Yeah, it's just either or. It seems like it's either freezing or it's 95 degrees. Last year's those 95-degree years. It's going to be mid-60s. It's going to be a beautiful day.
It's going to be a
tomorrow.
great day.
A lot
Absolutely.
of people coming home. Class reunions happening. It's always a great weekend.
Absolutely.
So hope you folks at home are able to get out and enjoy it tomorrow.
We'll go ahead and step aside for a 2-minute break. Second half coming up right here on 97.3 WRUL. Ready for the second half of action. Cole Carter and Chris Myers here at Harrington Jeffrey Sports Complex. Big thanks to Asher Penrod back at the WRUL studio. And J.C. Tinsley and Haley Winkleman are here in the press box helping us get back on the air on the WRUL Sports YouTube channel. We had some issues with that earlier tonight, but we are back and live on the YouTube channel. So you can watch the rest of the game from your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV for the second half. But might not be much football to watch for the rest of the game. I mean, if you're Eldorado, Carmi get the ball to start the game, start the half. They're up by 22. Eldorado is running out of time, essentially.
Yeah, if the Bulldogs do what they've done so far in the first half, take this possession, march it right down and score, it's pretty well going to be an insurmountable odds for the Eagles. So
4 possessions and 4 touchdowns for Carmi tonight.
And if nothing changes on this opening drive, it's pretty well going to be a pretty uphill battle for the Eagles, to say the least.
Pretty good crowd on hand tonight for the second to final regular season home game of the year. We're hoping to have another home game here about the last Saturday of October.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
That'd be beautiful. Saturday afternoon at home.
It's been 6 years since Carmi had a home playoff game, so that's now. There's a lot of things that you can't beat, but a Saturday playoff game in Carmi, you can't beat. I'm sorry, you can't beat it.
You can't. Well, I will say this. They do have the option of playing it on a Friday night.
They do.
Friday night last year. Coach Simon kind of leans toward the Friday night, but I may try to talk to him off air.
I'll talk to him as well.
Saturday
I love
afternoon.
Saturday.
It's just
I love it.
It's a beautiful thing. It's different. It just playing Saturday afternoon, that signifies postseason football. So Anyway, that's my tangent. So
I'm with you there, though.
Yeah.
I'm Saturday all the way.
we'll write him a letter. Let's do that.
Eldorado will kick this one off. A pooch kick on the right side. It takes a bounce and picked up by Cade Allen across the 40-yard line. And Allen will be, or across the 30, that is. Allen will be taken down at the Eldorado 37. So 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from that spot. Again, 4 first-half possessions and 4 touchdowns for Carmi in that first 2 quarters. Eldorado did score once on a 78-yard run by Parker Price.
I expect to see, obviously, more of the same this third quarter to start. And I would say Eldorado will probably take more gambles defensively, look for them just to all-out blitz every play.
Kind of have to at this point.
You have no choice. 6 men on the line, 3 linebackers.
1st and 10 for Carmi. Then move Dotson in motion, handoff to Odd right up the gut. Odd will take it across the 40-yard line to about the 44 of Carmi. Second down and 5.
Sorry, Cole. It always looks easier up here, but I thought if Drax just kept running that to the outside, I didn't see anybody. I thought that was
Eldorado stacking the box. It's all inside, and if you can get a hook on somebody, I mean, that's probably.
If he just looked maybe to the right, I thought he may have busted that one. But
you're a good couple hook blocks away and a linebacker block from right something outside. 2nd down and 4. They call it here for Carmi from their own 43-yard line. Under center is Leg. Move Dotson in motion again. They go counter right side to King. King trying to get to the edge. He's got the first down across midfield, taken down across the 45-yard line. That'll be enough for a Carmi first down or Rush Appliance first down.
Well, Eldorado's best player met Carmi's best player there. And Isaac kind of got him to the ground that time. Price had been the one who tackled him, took his legs out from him on what we thought was going to be a breakaway touchdown earlier. I think King just returned the favor with a little shoulder there, mowing him over to the ground.
Puts the football at the Eldorado 43-yard line.
And you see it. You watch these linebackers come up. They're just gonna blitz literally every play if you see them creep up. Not this time.
Leg under center, handoff to Odd left side, and Odd will take it up across the 40 to the Eldorado 37-yard line. Got a 6-yard pickup there for Drax. 2nd and 4 coming up. 10:45 to go in the third quarter. Carmi leads Eldorado 30-8.
The slow, methodical march begins. It's
what Carmi's been doing all year long.
It's just like watching tanks go through, on a battlefield, just slow. Not to be that gruesome, but it's what it looks like.
That's the first one. That's the first time I've heard that one.
They got their camo on tonight. They just look like tanks just mowing their way down a battlefield.
Under center is Leg here on 2nd and 4. They'll give it off to King up the middle, and King will take it inside the 30. He'll be drugged down at around the Eldorado 28, 27-yard line. That's going to be enough for a Rush Appliance first down. That will move the chains.
And once again, the luxury the Bulldogs have with this kind of lead. You can snap the ball with 5 seconds if you want every play.
Yeah, we'll see them in this second half really start to kill that play clock.
It's a slow suffocation is what they do to teams. I call it. Just slowly squeeze the life out of teams.
Carmi goes to that bunch formation again here on 1st down and 10. Leg gives it off to King on the right side. King will break one tackle, gets it up to the 21-yard line, and he's just such an aggressive runner.
Him and Owens just kind of met head-to-head battle, and I think King got the best of that one. Just put Owens on his back. Credit Owens for hanging on, making the tackle, but, you're right, Cole. A lot of times running backs, when I say look to avoid contact, they're just trying to break away and, get yards. King is looking to punish people. He craves it. He craves the contact. That's what's another thing that's unique about him.
2nd down and 4 here for Carmi. Under center is Leg. Back to pass.
Wide open.
He's got Gomat open, but he goes in the flat. That one's caught by Draxon inside the 10. Touchdown, Carmi White County. Draxon with the catch and run. And Warren Leg with the touchdown pass. That one being his 5th on the year.
Beautiful play, the old counter pass. You got your options of the running back out in the flat, the far side tight end running the deep out, or your other tight end running the drag route across the middle. He had Gomat open deep, which we both thought he may go to, but hit Odd out in the flats after that, and it was take your pick of a touchdown there. Nice throw by Warren Leg.
Drexenot has his third touchdown of the night. So Carmi goes to the pass play there, and they find the end zone for the 5th time on their 5th possession. So leg under center here for the 2-point play in the power eye. They give it off to King, and King will get into the end zone for the 2-point play.
Wow.
Extending his new school record.
Austin Owen with about a 10-yard drive block on that play.
Love it. Love
beautiful job by the right tackle.
We'll keep it here. 9:03 to go in the third quarter. Your score, Carmi County 38, Eldorado 8. And, Chris, I'd say one more of those, and this one will be just about done.
Yep. I think it's pretty well done now, but I think Carmi gets one more stop here. You're absolutely right. Get another possession, put this thing to bed.
And I think this, if Carmi hangs on to this game, and I assume they will, this game I think is a little more impressive than what it said on paper. Eldorado was playing their best football of the season.
Oh, they were.
And really should have beat a really good Cesar team last week at home. They had won 2 in a row prior to that. And in a game where Eldorado had to win, they were going to come out fired up. But Carmi really just did not flinch, it seemed like, after that Vickers interception.
I think Carmi mentally knew after that Fairfield game is like, okay, this is another opponent that can be dangerous. They weren't treating this like a true 2-4 football team. They were treating this game more like this is a dangerous opponent, and we got to come out and play our A-game football. And to their credit, they've done that tonight. If Eldorado does get that win against Cesar, think about their confidence level coming into tonight. So, credit the Bulldogs for not kind of, letting their guard down like they did against the Mules a couple weeks ago.
Edwards' kick went out of bounds, but I think Eldorado touched it first, so they'll have the ball. I could be wrong. 1st and 10 for Eldorado, regardless, at their own 25-yard line. Eagles come out. They send a wide receiver out wide to the left. Price in the shotgun. They run the option, and Price keeps it. He'll run to the outside, and just nowhere to go that time for Parker Price.
First time I've seen that tonight, them run an option. I would kind of, a kid like this, I thought they may just run that type of play a little more. Him and Owens are a nice 1-2 punch. Maybe out of the backfield, just run some speed options a little more, along with those misdirections, but just haven't done it a lot with him. Just not something you see with, when we do see athletic quarterbacks in the conference. We haven't seen true option quarterbacks out of the spread.
Eagles again send a wide receiver left side, and the shotgun is Price. And he will hand it off to Owens on the jet sweep on the right side. Owens will take it up across the 30-yard line to about the 32. We'll bring up 3rd down, call it 3 here for the Eagles. And you got, I think, definitely 4-down territory. You're down by 30 points. You got to find the end zone here.
It's pretty well a given. They're going to have to go for it here. I mean, realistically, I don't see the Bulldogs relinquishing this lead, even if the Eagles do keep this drive going. But yeah, if you're the Eagles, you've got to make one last attempt.
So Price in the shotgun here on 3rd down and 3. Move a man in motion, and somebody jumped offside.
Looked like the tight end up the top.
Carmi's clapping. It's going to be a false start against Eldorado, so that turns a 3rd and 2 to a 3rd and 7 now. That's a costly mistake there for the Eagles. My guess would have been quarterback run there. We've seen it a lot on those short yardage situations.
Yeah, a fake and just kind of a quarterback draw type play, but again, teams that struggle, this is what happens. 3rd and 2 is now 3rd and 7. Self-inflicted wounds, you just make it that much more difficult.
3rd down and 7 for Eldorado from their own 27-yard line. Price hands it off to Owens again. Jet sweep right side. Owens is going to have the first down. Ball came out the end. Carmi might have recovered it, and they did. Carmi White County football. Owens had the first down. The ball got popped out. Couldn't tell who punched it out, but the Bulldogs recover. That's a Rush Appliance first down.
Another prime example of salt in the wound. You're 3rd and 2, you jump, now you're 3rd and 7. You call the same play, and you have the first down and a fumble. Just tough to beat really good teams when you hurt yourself if you're the Eagles. So Bulldogs will definitely capitalize on this one. 2nd Eagles turnover of the night. Bulldogs scored a touchdown off the first one they recovered. Let's see if they do the same thing here.
7:01 to play here in the third quarter. 38-8, Bulldogs in front. Leg under center. They face the toss. They fake the toss. Handoff right side to King, and King runs over one defender and is taken down up at the 26-yard line. You know, one thing I've also noticed, Chris, and I can knock on wood for it. Isaac King, if you go back to that spring season back in 2021, really that was Isaac's first year as a starting running back, had a hard time hanging on to the football.
He did.
And really has seemed, especially throughout last season and all of this season, and he had that one fumble against Fairfield on a toss play, but just really good at taking care of the football. It's the number one thing as a running back.
Oh, so much better. Yeah, absolutely. That spring season, which we'd all like to forget, that was Isaac's Achilles heel, and he has definitely improved that.
Leg will give it off to Odd, left side. Odd will take it up inside the 25, just shy of the 20. And that'll be enough for a rush appliance first down. Bulldogs move the chains again.
And it goes back to, for running backs, like in most sports, it's the little things you do. Basketball coaches, you're shooting free throws every day. Baseball coaches, you're in the batting cage or just playing pitch and catch. Running backs, you're just doing drills, ball security drills. And you got to do those things every day. Every day. That's how you eliminate fumbles. You preach it, you work on it, and it's always your first priority when you're a running back is hanging on to the football.
1st and 10 for Carmi from the Eldorado 21-yard line. They'll fake the toss, hand off to King right side once again. Isaac trying to bounce it, and he just barely had his knee hit the ground. He stumbled for a second, got back up, but they say he was down. And around the Eldorado 18-yard line, about a 4-yard pickup.
I'd love to have a replay on that. But
that's close.
That's all right.
He sure sold it if he did hit the ground. But
yeah. He tried to make it as quick as he could.
We're at the 5:10 mark to go here in the third quarter. Bulldogs leading Eldorado 38-8. Under center is Leg. They go to the wingback formation. Odd is the wingback. And they fake the give to Dotson, and they give it off to Odd left side. Odd coughed the football up. And we'll see who recovered this one. I think Odd fell back on it.
He did.
And he did. Third down.
And we better quit talking about fumbles.
Well, at this
you
point,
knocked on wood.
At this point, I think worse things could happen.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Get it out of our system now.
Yeah.
Not having any next week. But it's, talking about, I joked earlier that, the reality of the monotony of football practice at certain points in the year, but it's because you're doing the same things. But you have to.
Yep.
You have to do things repetitiously.
3rd and 3 here for Carmi. Leg hands it off to King off the right side, and King will stumble his way inside the 10. He's going to have enough for a rush appliance first down. He'll be 1st and goal for the Bulldogs at the Eldorado 6-yard line as we approach the 4-minute mark here in the third quarter. 38-8, Bulldogs lead.
We got a fabulous block from his right guard, Bryson Moore. He had a kind of a backfield type pancake on number 57 for the Eagles, Austin Robertson. But you just expect nothing less from this line, week in and week out.
They have been dominant all season long.
Fantastic.
1st and goal here for Carmi from the Eldorado 6-yard line. Leg will give it off to King on the left side. Cuts back to the middle. Touchdown, Carmi White County. Isaac King once again finds the end zone, and the Bulldogs extend their lead, this time from 6 yards out. That's his second of the night.
Beautiful job once again. The power G play to the left side. Front side tries to wash down. You pull the backside guard. Fullback leads. Tailback gets up behind, and they just make it look so easy because they execute it so well.
So Carmi will go to the line for a 2-point attempt here with 3:46 to go in the third quarter. They go to the T formation. Leg is waiting. Now he gives it off to Odd left side, and Draxon will walk into the end zone for the 2-point play with 3:46 to go in the third quarter. Your score, Carmi County 36, Eldorado 8, back in 30 seconds. will kick this one away, and that will be fielded on the hop by Eldorado on the return. This is Owens across the 25-yard line to the 26. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles from that spot. And so Eldorado with the football trailing 46-8. We're at the 3:39 mark to go in the third quarter. Still looking for a score update from that game in Cester-Valier.
21-14.5 was our last update on that, correct?
Yeah, 21-14. JC was up at the break and doing my Twitter fingers to try to figure out if there has been a score since. And again, Cester could help Carmi a lot with a win against John City, who has not lost this year. Indians are 6-0. Red Devils are 5-1. Meanwhile, in this game, Carmi 6-0. Eldorado trying to keep their playoff hopes alive at 2-4, but it's not looking good. Price will hand it off to Owens. They've run the same play 3 times now, and Owens will run it across the 30-yard line up to the Eldorado 33. Got a 5-yard pickup, maybe 6.
And every time they've ran it, they've averaged about 5-6 yards. So
yeah, if you call back to the fumble on the last drive, he had the first down on that play and just coughed the football.
Yeah, I think Eldorado is just going to the, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So until the Bulldogs stop it, they may just keep calling it.
Got to wonder how much longer. We probably won't see the first team offense or defense in the fourth quarter. Running clock is not in effect yet. Just a 38-point Carmi lead.
Had it been in effect, you probably wouldn't even see him now.
Yeah. Price in the shotgun. He will give it off to, I believe that's Robinson up the middle, and he will take it across the 35. Brings up 3rd down, about 2. If you recall last year in the game between these two teams, Carmi had a big lead in the second half. I believe it was about the same, about 44-8, something like that. Eldorado scored about 3 touchdowns in the final 5 minutes or something like that against the Carmi JV defense that made the score look a little bit nicer than what it really was.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those, well, tried to be sports about it moments. And Eldorado said, hey, we're not done.
So 3rd and a yard here for the Eagles. And the shotgun is Price. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. It will go on the jet sweep, and nearly bobbling the handoff was number 4, the ball carrier. That's Patrick that time for Eldorado, and he's got the first down up to the Eagle 40-yard line.
And a positive for him, 3 straight plays, 4 straight plays, and got a first down out of it. So,
and if you are Eldorado, you're not going to win this football game, and so essentially this will eliminate you from playoff contention, but you've got 2 very winnable games over the next 2 weeks. They're going to face CZR and Edwards County
they go out
to
on
finish
a high
the
note.
season.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Parker Price on the quarterback run to the right side here on first down. He'll scamper across the sideline and get taken down into Bulldog territory to the Carmi 49-yard line. That'll be enough for an Eldorado first down again.
Well, that was a fantastic run by Price on that play. Like I said, you look at his speed. He is by far the fastest quarterback we've seen to this point in the season carrying the ball. Just begs the question, if Eldorado maybe had, when they had it on that first drive after we'd muffed the punt, and they're inside our 30, if they'd maybe stuck to this ground game instead of trying to get a little too fancy,
Who knows what could have happened.
It could have maybe been a different scenario here.
First down at 10. Price will go back to pass here. Quick throw near sideline. That ball is going to be caught. Number 8 with the reception, that's Maddox Rash. And Rash will take it out of bounds.
Well, they definitely took advantage of our coverage there because, they'd had healthy doses of those sweeps and inside run plays, and so our safeties were already playing 10 yards or greater off the ball, and this outside receiver kind of disregarding him. And that play, it was just more of a tap your helmet, hey, I'm open, safety's off me, kind of a pitch and catch play. Caught us kind of in a formation.
That will be the final play of the third quarter. We go to the fourth quarter. Your score, Carmi White County 46, Eldorado 8. Back in 1 minute. We go to the fourth quarter here in Carmi. Your score, Carmi County 46, Eldorado 8. As we begin the fourth quarter of action. Again, trying to find some score updates from around the area, especially that big game in Cesar. As really most important game in the BDC for this week going on over there. Last we checked, it was a 7-point lead for Johnson City. We'll keep you updated as we find out. Second down and 5 here for Eldorado. Carmi leading 46-8. Here's a handoff up the middle. And not much running room that time. I believe it was Robinson, the ball carrier. Actually, it was Owens. And so Owens gets up to the Carmi 40-yard line. So third down and 2 here for the Eagles.
And starting defense still out there, so.
I can imagine we'll probably see one more score from Carmi, get that running clock on, and let the JV finish this one out.
Yeah, I would think Coach Sun would like to get a stop here. Doesn't want to see Eldorado march this thing down.
So third down and a long 2 here for Eldorado at the Carmi 40-yard line. Back in the shotgun is Price. Moves a man in motion. They fake the toss, hand off to Patrick up the middle, and Carmi able to sniff that one out. The counter play, they've ran it with Patrick a couple of times. He lost a couple of yards there, brings up fourth down and about 4 here for Eldorado.
Great job again. They tried that play earlier in the third quarter, and the Bulldogs snuffed it out. You mentioned it, Cole. When you're running a counter or misdirection play out of the shotgun, you're deeper off the ball, number one, and it takes a lot more time to develop because of the shotgun snap. So, big difference running out of the shotgun and running it under center.
Well, and surprisingly here, Eldorado's going to punt it. Fourth down from the Carmi 40.
Wow.
So it's number 11 punting it. That's Caden Henson, and it will be a short punt that will take an Eldorado bounce up to the Carmi 11-yard line. So first and 10 for the Bulldogs from that spot. First team offense will jog back onto the field. Kind of surprised by the play call by Eldorado. I mean, you're talking 4th and 4 from the Carmi, 30-yard line?
That baffled me.
Yeah. I know it's a 38-point game, and they
still you got to make some effort to keep fighting.
And they do have the game clock still running, so I imagine that they've just kind of went ahead and said, okay, let's go ahead and get that running clock turned on.
And that last punt, when you heard everyone scream, get away from it, and I was laughing. Nelson Ryder got a little too close to it. He saw Coach Wolf give him a not-so-friendly glare in conversation. So
first and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 13-yard line. Leg will move Dotson in motion. They fake the toss, hand off to King left side, and King looks to bounce it but can't do so up to the Carmi 17-yard line. About a 5-yard pickup. Second and 5 coming up.
And it's just funny when you say you held Isaac to a 5-yard carry, it's like you celebrate. Every other time, hey, it's too much. But going back, funny story to reminisce, talking about punts. I just get nervous on punts. I've talked about it all year. Yeah. It's just because, at the lower levels, I would scream. I didn't even have kids field it because it was going to be a disaster with young kids trying it. But when that ball bounces and there's a crowd around it, if it hits your team, then it's a live ball. And I remember one game, and I'll finish the story after this snap here.
Second and 5 here for Leg under center. They move Dotson in motion, and they hand it off to
Leg. As a miscommunication there.
So Leg kept it. Threw me off. Leg kept it. Got about 3 yards. Third down coming up.
Could have been an option play almost. But one particular game years ago, we were playing, I think it was up at Fairfield, and they were punting to us, and the ball was kicked, and it was like straight up in the air, going to wobble, and I'm screaming like a madman, get away, get away. And, of course, at that age, there's always that kid who just thinks, hey, what's this football doing? Let me see. And he got within an inch of it, and I'm screaming like a lunatic, and luckily he didn't touch it. But
it's never a safe play.
Right. I'll finish the story in a minute.
3rd and 1. Give it off to King up the middle, and King will take it across the 40-yard line, puts his shoulder down right into the chest of Parker Price all the way across the 40 to the Carmi 43-yard line. That's enough for a Rush Appliance first down.
Those two have got to be good friends tonight, meeting like that. But so I pull the kid to the sideline, and I just kind of ask a gentle question. I say, what part of get away from the football do you not understand? And he just kind of looks at me, you know.
Well, I can tell you from coaching kids that age, you ask that question a lot.
Right. So that's why whenever we're even at the high school level, I see kids get close to football, I'm in my mind, I'm screaming, get away, get away. So it's just something I've never recovered from.
Traumatic.
Punts make me nervous.
And Carmi's going to burn a timeout. They put in the second team running backs, and just a little bit of miscommunication there on the substitution. So timeout taken by Coach Simon. 7:14 to go here in the fourth quarter. Your score: Carmi 46, Eldorado 8. We'll keep it here as we do have a score update from Cesar-Valier, and it's Johnson City leading Cesar. They scored once again, 27-14 is the lead for the Indians, and you wonder how much time is left in that game, and that might be the Indians pulling away from that one. It's been a couple of times this year that the Indians have had a tight, so I see here 2:42 left in the third is the score there in JC, 27-14 Indians.
So they're starting to kind of get a more comfortable lead there.
Yeah. And again, Carmi will play Johnson City next week at JC. If both teams hang on, it will be a battle of the unbeatens in what pretty much is your BDC championship game here in 2022.
And if you can't make it, that's definitely a game you want to be watching on our live stream.
Yeah, we'll have it for you there.
Because it will be a showdown. Two unbeatens, 8-0. Carmi ranked number 8 in 2A. Johnson City right behind us at 9. It should live up to the hype.
After the timeout, 1st and 10 for Carmi. Leg will go back under center. 7:14 to play here in the fourth quarter. And miscommunication on the handoff. And Leg again will just get tripped up at around the 42-yard line.
Yeah, definitely some miscommunication with these younger backs. I don't know if they're just not hearing the play call correctly or just obviously going the wrong way. But twice he's turned to the right to hand the ball to somebody, and no one's been there. So
also don't want to see your quarterback have to scramble there when you're up by 38 points in the fourth quarter.
No, definitely don't want to see that.
2nd down and 10 here for Carmi, and they move Wiggins in motion. They hand it off to Pollard up the middle, and Noah Pollard, who was in the top 5 rushing department last week in the BDC, takes that one across midfield up to the Eldorado 48. It'll be 3rd and short here for the Bulldogs.
Noah Pollard, again, a young sophomore, but that's a kid you're going to keep your eyes on because, you know, next year I think he's really gonna shine next year.
Talk about the sophomore class for Carmi. You mentioned Pollard, as well as Cade Wiggins, Cale Wiggins, Cade Allen, Cade Stockton. All 4 of those guys are really going to be your main
very talented
skill position guys next year. A handful of O-linemen and D-linemen coming back, and of course Mitchell
Bryant.
Edwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
going to be your quarterback for the next 2 years.
Yep.
Third down and 2 here for Carmi. They toss it near side. This is Allen trying to turn up field, and he is going to be stopped about a yard short. Nice tackle made that time by that's number 24 Eldorado, number 20. And Jamison Molinaro with the tackle.
And with that said, I believe our sophomores have only 1 loss on the season. I believe they're 4-1, 5-1.
Yep, I think
5-1 this year, so they're having a fantastic season.
And so they'll play Eldorado at Eldorado on Monday. And so Carmi is going to go for it here on 4th down. His leg goes back under center here on 4th down and about 2. Leg moves Wiggins in motion. They give it off to Pollard up the middle. Pollard's got the 1st down across the 45, and he's taken down at the 42. That will move the chains. That's a Rush Appliance 1st down for Carmi under 5 minutes to go, and Warren Legg will jog off the field. Mitchell Edwards set to come in, and Warren Legg, a good night for him, a touchdown pass, and doing just what you want him to do as a quarterback.
He's been an unsung hero this year. You know, again, with this Bulldog football team being so run heavy, you know, he's not going to get a lot of the stats in the paper. But what he does guiding this offense, you can't say enough about him.
Jet sweep here to Cale Wiggins. He turns up field and takes it up across the 40 to about the Eldorado 39. About a 3-yard pickup, maybe 4 there for Wiggins.
Yeah.
2nd down.
Going back to Warren, you know, I talked about last year he was on pace to be basically an all-conference defensive player. He was a corner, safety. He was just one of our hardest hitters in the secondary. and suffered that ACL injury against Christopher in week 4. And the fact he came back this year and was able to play football was awesome, number one. But missing him on defense, this Bulldog defense has really stepped it up regardless.
Edwards hands it off to Pollard, left side. Pollard trying to get the angle. He's got it for a first down, pushed out of bounds at the Eldorado 26-yard line. That's enough for a Rush Appliance first down. Noah Pollard getting some action here in the fourth quarter.
The young lineman coming in to replace the starting O-line. Good to see those guys coming in. And again, for Legg, it had to be so devastating for him not to be able to play defense. But the fact that he said, okay, I'm going to step in as a senior, take a role I've never taken before, be a facilitator, be a leader. He's smart, great kid, does whatever you ask, guide the offense, come through when I'm asked to, and, you just have to tip your hat to him because he's had such a great attitude about it.
First and 10 under center is Edwards. He will give it off to, that's Cade Allen trying to find the outside. Allen will bounce off one defender, take it inside the Eldorado 25-yard line to about the 22. And there's a injured Eagle on the play. He's back up and he's all right though. Under 3 minutes to go. Your score, Bulldogs 46, Eldorado 8. That clock ticking. 2:40 left to play in this one.
Allen kind of took a page out of the Isaac King book there, lowered his shoulder.
Go towards the contact.
Took out a couple other guys.
So Edwards goes back under center, wing back to the left side. That's Wiggins. And Edwards will turn and give it off to Pollard, looking for some running room. He spins away from one defender, trying to bounce to the outside again. And you see the moves there from Noah Pollard, who has started a few games on the defensive side of the ball. Takes it up to the Eldorado 21. It'll be third down and about 5 here for Carmi. 2 minutes to go in this one. 46-8 your score. Carmi in front.
Well, like we said with Pollard, he's only 155 pounds, but that's a deceptive 155 because he's all muscle. And he's a gym rat. He loves to lift weights, and he's tenacious. So come next year when he packs on, another 10, 15 pounds, it's going to be a different story. He won't bounce off people like he does. He'll probably run through them.
Yeah, Carmine's got a good group of underclassmen coming up next year and really the year after as well. Edwards will give it off in the jet sweep to Wiggins. He's trying to turn up field, but he can't. A good job on the tackle that time by Maddox Rash. Came up, stopped the jet sweep. And I can imagine, with it being fourth down here, you can't kneel it. So Carmi will have to run a play here. 1:10 to play, 46-8. Carmi in front.
Yeah, and I expect just a simple run play, just to milk the clock down as much as you can. Eagles will probably get one last heave with the football.
So Carmi's going to improve to 7-0 for the first time since 2011. Eagles will fall to 2-5. They'll be eliminated from playoff contention. They give it to Pollard, left side. Pollard looking for some running room, and he'll be close to that first down line. Not sure if he got it.
I think, whoa.
Far side official says yes.
They did. I think they gave it to him.
And they did.
What a run by Pollard.
That will be your ball game. Yep. No need to kneel down. This one's over, folks. The Bulldogs improve their dominant historic record to 7-0 on the season. As again, they've already clinched a playoff spot, trying to get a better playoff position. And depending on what happens in the next few minutes in Sester-Valier will depend on how important, well, it's going to be important regardless, but how big next week's game will be at Johnson City. Essentially going to be your BDC championship next week between the Bulldogs and the Indians. Again, final score, Bulldogs win it 46-8. We will go ahead and take a 2-minute break. We come back, we will have the Roark Transport post-game show, and we'll have a chat with head coach Kurt Simon. Back in 2 minutes here on 97.3 WRUL. Final score, Bulldogs win it over Eldorado tonight in Week 7, 46-8. The final score, Bulldogs improve to 7-0 for the first time since 2011. Chris, Eldorado had a chance there on their first drive to score first and get some momentum on their side, but other than that, it was all Carmi.
Yeah, that opening drive was just kind of a little bit of a letdown for the Bulldogs in the fact that.
How about I fix your mic?
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Am I live now?
You're good. You're good. Go ahead. You're good.
I think
I'm working on it.
All right. Bulldogs had that opening series against Eldorado, forced a punt, then the muffed punt, and then the Eagles, quite frankly, looked pretty solid there.
Yeah.
It was just kind of the worst way you wanted to start a game, give a team that was coming in here with everything on the line. You know, Eldorado was a team kind of like Fairfield, a team you couldn't let your guard down against. Records out the window, you know, another local rival, long-time rivalry between Carmi and Eldorado. But that first series, after we muffed the punt, it was kind of a little bit, okay, are we giving them life? You know, they started to drive it, got down inside our 30, close to the 20, close to the red zone, and we're thinking, okay, this might get interesting. Well, big play by Trayton Vickers, picking off the swing pass into the flats, runs it back for what was a long gain, but called back for a penalty. Anyway, Bulldogs got good field position out of that, took care of business, got in the end zone. After that, they never really looked back.
Postgame show is delivered by thanks to Roark Transport, hauling fuels, rock, grain, and more to help our community grow. Call 265-3665 for details. Well, scoring-wise tonight for Carmi after that Trayton Vickers interception, a 4-yard run by Isaac King at the 4-minute mark there in the first quarter. Then Odd would score a 2-yard touchdown. A 28-yard touchdown by Dotson made it 22-0 at that point. A 78-yard run by Parker Price made it 22-8. And then all Carmi after that, a 4-yard run by Odd, a 19-yard pass from Legg to Odd, then a 6-yard run by King. And also something, Chris, we talked about a couple weeks ago, Carmi had a bunch of one-play drives, but tonight it was a lot of long drives down the field, wearing out the Eldorado defense, and eventually finally they scored every time they had the ball tonight. Carmi did.
Yeah, and the other thing that Carmi did well tonight is Eldorado put the ball on the ground a couple times, a couple fumbles, both recovered by the Bulldogs, and they converted. They capitalize on them. That's the mark of a good team. When you get a gift from another team in the form of a fumble, an interception, you have to capitalize on turnovers that you get, that you create. You don't want to waste those. And even with the pick, both fumble recoveries, those all turn into Bulldog touchdowns. And that's what good teams do. They took advantage of those opportunities. They were dominant up front. And you're right, Cole. When you can have an offense that just pounds and pounds and pounds of defense, by the second quarter, you could tell the Eldorado defense was just worn down. Yeah. It's just a slow – it's almost like a constrictor. It's like a big python just constricting its prey. Slowly knocks the breath out of you. And, you know, it's been the Bulldogs' MO all season, and they just executed it to perfection tonight.
We talked about, you know, I feel like this win is a little more impressive than what it was on paper. Eldorado, probably one of the better 2-4 teams around the area. Mm-hmm. They had a rough start to the year. They played, I believe it was Cesar, Fairfield, Flora, 3 straight weeks, or actually Fairfield, JC, Flora, 3 straight weeks. They fall to 0-3, and then they kind of worked their way back. But they had a win tonight to get to have a playoff chance. But it was an Eldorado team that had been playing their best football, and tonight just Carmi just gave them nothing to work with eventually.
Yeah, you know, they had a great opportunity last week against Cesar. I think it came down to the final play down, you know, when they got held out of the end zone. They're on the 1 and couldn't get in. Cesar held them out. Had they got that win and came in here tonight instead of 2-4, their mindset's different. But it was kind of, for me, the same feeling as they had against Fairfield. It was a team that you knew, even though they're 2-4, you don't sleep on them because, you know, they're dangerous. With, you know, Parker Price being the athlete he is, they can do some things. And Eldorado, no matter what their record is always a physical, hard-hitting football team. They're going to make you feel it every time they tackle you. And, you know, we saw Price show his athletic ability, breaking a long run down the sidelines. So, yeah, you had that vibe. Let's not have another Fairfield situation. Let's not come out flat, be down at half, and have to kind of dig ourselves out. And that didn't happen. It looked that way potentially that first drive. But, again, the Bulldogs have done what they've done all year, created a turnover, flipped the script, momentum changed, and got it out of here with an impressive win tonight.
The bounce back report comes your way thanks to the good folks at Wabash Christian Therapy on Oak Street in Carmi. Get back in the game, call Wabash Christian today. And so, obviously, no matter what happens in the end of the game, last we checked, it was Johnson City leading Cesar Valliere 27-14. Regardless of that finish, next week, if you're Carmi, you win and you get at least a share of the BDC championship, and that's your main focus right now.
That is it. This is, if there's a game that's been marked on this team's calendar for last probably 2-3 weeks now, it's this one coming up. And it's going to be 2 unbeaten teams. Carmi ranked number 8 in 2A, Johnson City ranked number 9. It's a showdown. Everyone in Southern Illinois area is talking about it, looking forward to it. And I know this man getting ready to come on camera with us is getting ready to look forward to it too, as we welcome Coach Simon.
I'll stay on that side if you want me.
No, you're on camera with us.
Okay. Well, Coach, we knew this was probably going to be the best 2-4 team you've seen in Eldorado, but you guys came out and just took care of business.
And that's basically it. I thought we did a good job. We sputtered a little bit early with some penalties, kind of put ourselves, kind of killed a couple of drives or whatever, but our linemen were coming off the ball. And, of course, Isaac had another great night. It was good to see Drax back. I thought defensively we did a good job. We got basically have 2 rookies playing our 4-4 corner guys. And with an athlete like that, you cannot get stuck inside. You are the contained person, and that happened once down here. And he's a great player. I mean, he's an all-conference player, and so that was the one long touchdown that they had. But I just thought overall the kids played really hard, played together, hung in there, and just played a good game.
You mentioned the defense. When I talked to you yesterday, your main focus was Price and Owens, their main 2 guys. And tonight, you guys held them in check. Price had the long touchdown run, but besides that,
yes.
He didn't have much running room. And how much of that was because of the last 2 days down at College Boulevard, getting ready for him?
Yep. I thought Coach Wolf did a great job getting the kids ready and preparing them for what they do offensively. And I thought our secondary did a pretty good job of covering. And, of course, Trayton had the big interception.
Yes.
And that was because he was getting a little bit of pressured. I thought Siebers did a pretty good job a couple times. They run him on a 10-yard out. The outside guy runs a streak, and he was in position where he was supposed to be. So there were some good things that we saw, and there were some other things that we will see on film that it's week 7, but we still got to get better. We're still coaching high school kids, and we still make mistakes. So we'll come in tomorrow morning and take a peek at it and try to improve and be ready for next week.
You talk about us creating turnovers. Trayton Vickers' play, when he intercepted that pass, that was a momentum changer because Eldorado, it was kind of, you weren't thinking, it was kind of, I had the slight Fairfield flashback because they were putting together a decent drive. All of a sudden, big play turnover. Same thing against Sesser. Isaac with the pick 6 is a game changer.
Right.
Can you talk about, Trayton's done, so, your young corners, Trayton Vickers, Caleb Siebert have been huge this year. Sieber's the hitter, Trayton several picks. Can you talk about what impresses me with your team is we don't waste opportunities when we get turnovers. The pick from Trayton, the next drive was a touchdown. Eldorado put the ball on the ground twice tonight, converted to touchdowns. Can you talk about how your defense creating those turnover situations, how important that's been to your offense?
We talk about having a great football season, or you can talk about having a great football game. But, at the very top is ball security.
Right.
So getting turnovers and not giving up the ball is number 1. And we've done a great job of that. I think we're plus 18.
Which is pretty good.
Plus 17. Every one of my teams that we've had that have really successful, we're in the 20s, plus 20 in turnover. So that, and that was the case out there tonight. Now, we did put the ball on the ground. Drax, obviously he's back from his injury, didn't get a chance to play, whatever. Guy swiped his arm or whatnot. But, in general, we're not turning the ball over and we're getting a few, and it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and
it'll make a huge difference in the game next week.
Oh, yeah. And we were talking about that on the air tonight. Even if you look back, we don't want to look back on the spring season we had, but – Isaac even, if he had as a youngster, it was kind of turnover, fumble a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was telling the folks at home what you teach, and I know every football coach teaches, it's like a basketball coach shooting free throws, baseball coach with kids in the cage. You're doing ball security drills every practice. You rep it and you rep it and you rep it because it's just got to be ingrained in these running backs. Hang on to it at all costs.
Yes. So and that's a very big key. Obviously we have some better players this year, and the kids they practice the way you're supposed to practice. They come out, but hey, we know what's at hand now. It's going to be a great game next week. Great atmosphere. Both 7-0. They have a very good line of scrimmage. They're very similar to us. A little heavier. So and a couple good running backs. It should be a great game. But the turnover thing will be a big key in that game, because those big games like that, just like any playoff game that you ever get in, losing a possession is huge, because sometimes you don't get that many. Because, most teams, and Johnson City's that way. Johnson City will hang onto the ball and drive 85 yards, getting 3 yards at a crack or whatever, because they can hand it off to a good back, and they got 5 good linemen that are all so they can get their 3.5 yards and just hang onto the ball. So when you think about the whole course of a whole game, if they have 6 possessions and we have 4, you're probably in trouble. So, but can't ask to be in a better spot, obviously, at this point in the season. The kids are playing well. Looks like Drax back and healthy. So we're excited to enjoy the Corn Day weekend, but come back in Monday, watch some film, and get ready for a big week.
And looking ahead at next week, regardless of what happens the rest of the night at Cesar, you guys win next week, you're conference champions. And what does that mean? It's been 11 years since you guys have won a conference championship, and now you had the chance to do that against a really good JC team next week.
And that's the way that's the way you want to do it. That's the way it should be, There's nothing better than, that's what it's all about, going and doing it like, potentially we could do it next week, late in the year, both teams undefeated. You couldn't write a better script, really. We're both very similar in our approach as far as offensively. They're the foot-to-foot stuff like Fairfield was, which poses lots of problems for you or whatever, but you just have to have a great week of practice. And, by the time you get down there and strap it up, there can be nothing left to do. You've covered crossed every T, dotted every I, and you got to come mentally ready for a dogfight. And so and I'm sure this group will do it. We'll be ready.
I think if fans across Southern Illinois are looking forward to this one, Coach. Like I said, we're ranked number 8. They're ranked number 9. You could flip a coin right now. You're two very similar teams, power running football teams. They may be a little, like you said, a little heftier than us up front, but our kids, our athleticism along the defensive line at our linebacker and corner position, I think it's definitely going to be a heavyweight fight.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you think you may have to do to mix things up a little bit against this team, or is it going to be just our normal power game?
Potentially. We always have stuff in our, we have stuff in the playbook. We have stuff that we are prepared to do if we have to. But by the same token, you come up with an identity of what you are and what you do, and you do it well. And most of the time, that's what's going to win you football games, is you're going to do it what you do good. And for us, we have a good line of scrimmage, 2 really good running backs in the backfield. You saw the third one tonight. And a couple of the young ones, they were late, did a really good job. And that's what we do. So that's what we knew from the beginning of the year, that we could potentially throw the ball 2 times a game, 1 time a game, 3 times a game. But as long as we do it like we did tonight, and you throw, 1 pass for a touchdown, that's all we need,
And all 3 receivers were open for touchdowns. He could have took his pick.
So you hang your hat on what you do well, and you have to execute. You have to execute. You have to win your individual battles, and when enough of the guys are doing that collectively, then you can move the ball.
Well, we're looking forward to it, Coach.
Absolutely.
We know these kids are going to be ready to go, and we wish you all the best next week.
All right,
Can't
very
wait
good.
to see it.
All right,
Thanks, Coach.
very
Thanks
good.
for your time. Best of luck next week.
Okay.
That's Kurt Simon again. The Bulldogs defeat Eldorado tonight, 46-8. The final score. We'll let the Eldorado radio guys scoot their way past us. But Chris, again, next week is the game that everybody has had circled on their calendar.
Yeah.
Bulldogs at the Indians next week.
If you are wanting to watch live stream YouTube, this is the week to do it, because 2 8-0s, 2 top 10 ranked teams in 2A. It is going to be an absolute showdown in Johnson City. And you heard Coach talk about it. We're mirror images of each other. They do exactly what we do. They're in a wedge, 2 big backs, pounding the football chunks at a time. We're in the T, power I, 4 or 5 chunks at a time. It's going to be 2 similar football teams.
Don't expect a passing game next week.
It's not. If you like spread offenses and pinball and video game, no, you're not going to see that. If you like a heavyweight fight, slugging back and forth, you're going to love the game next week.
Again, want to remind fans you can see me and Chris tomorrow morning in front of the 103 Coffee Shop for the Saturday morning sports show. That will kick off at 9 a.m. as we start the Corn Day festivities in downtown Carmi. We'll be sure to layer up. It'll be a little bit chilly tomorrow morning, but I'm looking forward to it.
You're buying the coffee, right?
I'll get you. I'll
Okay.
get you
All
taken
right.
care
Just
of.
making sure.
Big thanks
All
to
right.
Haley Winkleman and J.C. Tinsley up here in the press box. Big thanks to Asher Penrod and Scott Maring back at the studio. For Chris Myers, I'm Cole Carter. Have a great weekend, Bulldog fans.